on Radio 2000.
Okay, let's get into our conversation about spectator misbehavior, and we are joined in studio by the Corporate Communications Officer at Kaizer Chiefs, Mr. Vina Maphosa. Thank you for being here, sir, and thank you for being available to speak through the good and the bad. We know we can always get you to speak.
You know, we always want to be here for the good, but we are responsible citizens of football. We are Kaizer Chiefs, and we love football. We love it in a way that obviously we responsible and accountable, you know, to the public. We have extended our mandate. Remember, as a club, we're not only a football club. We influence the society in many ways. You know, when you think about the economy and the popular phrase of the happiness
The happy index of the country.
I mean, if you saw what happened after we won the first couple of games of the start of the season, the excitement was palpable in the air. Wherever you went, you found people excited. Everybody was happy, and you can imagine the families were happy. And it gives the country, you know, some sense of pride and belonging to have a happy nation.
Yes, and that's why you have this huge responsibility when incidents like this happen, and that you need to talk to the country. Obviously, you are not the only club that has these issues, but we believe that, I mean, majority of South Africans support Kaizer Chiefs, and the incidents have been very often with your club, and I think it's important that we invite you here to come and speak to the supporters, and we try and find solutions and a way forward. You do also embrace that as part of your responsibility.
It's very important to note that we acknowledge the fact that many people love the club. We have so much responsibility. If you think of to whom much is given, much is required. You know, so it comes with the corner office. The longest tree catches the highest wind, if you want to put it that way. So for the role that we play in the society in terms of football, it comes with that huge responsibility. Some say it comes with the territory, and there's the responsibility that we prepared, you know, to take and see to it that with time, all the things that are not required or are ills in football are eradicated. So we want to be part of the solution as well.
And what do these incidents, this hooliganism, these acts of violence do for the image and the reputation of the club? And especially because you have so many partners also.
Look, the club as a whole is a big brand, and you can imagine as a brand, you are under siege every day. You have to protect the brand. You have to improve the brand. So it's a continuous exercise to work on improving the club in all facets. You may call them departments, football, marketing, supporters, media, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what is critical is to make sure that the legacy of Dr. Motaung and the legacy of you know, the founders of the forefathers of the club, those that have died, you know, for this club to be where it is today, those that have played, those that have contributed, is protected, you know. So we endeavor every day doing many things of ensuring that we protect, we preserve, as well as we keep the legacy that has been formed way back in 1970 on the 7th of January.
Yeah. Does it affect your relationships with the sponsors?
Yeah, obviously any kind of damage that's done on the brand has got a negative effect, you know, on the club or the brand itself. But we've put in place, you know, mechanisms to ensure that we do manage, you know, the damage, but it can only last so long. We need all the parties, and not only Kaizer Chiefs. You see, a big brand like Kaizer Chiefs affects the entire league. So if you have a damaged or an attacked Kaizer Chiefs all the time, it affects the entire football fraternity. It's got you know, overarching consequences for everybody. So we need an effort from everybody to ensure that all the clubs are protected, and more so that, of course, leading in terms of giving football a good name, in terms of how we manage, how we administer, how we still draw sponsors, how we command so much support. So we need a lot of effort from everybody to safeguard this. Remember, don't forget, it's also a black excellence. I mean, it's not many black stories that we can count, that have succeeded. For 55 years, this club has been there. It's a family-run business. You cannot shy away from that. And the family has sacrificed and done well to make sure that they give something, to South Africa, and they continue to do that. And that needs to be respected, it needs to be protected, and it needs to be promoted as an example to that young person who grows up and think, oh, Ntate Mtaung was born in Soweto, in Pefeni, Senzo Street, and here he is, went overseas and came back and contributed to the nation by building this humongous club. So we are proud of the club, and we wish to extend an invitation to everybody to come on board to make sure that we arrest all these maladies that are happening in soccer currently, including hooliganism at the stadium.
Because it's costly too. I was listening to those clips of Zola Majavu. 150,000 there, 50,000 there. How much do you think you paid here as Kaizer Chiefs?
No, it's a big money. It's a big money. We've lost count now. We've lost count, and we hope that it will be arrested. As you know, we are charged again.
Yeah, have you received a love letter from the
PSL? It's becoming now something that's becoming a norm. And receiving that letter of saying we must appear at 11 o'clock at the PSL office on the 15th on charges of misbehavior, spectator misbehavior, and unruly misbehavior. I mean, all these, if you think of them, they are totally opposite to what Kaizer Chiefs stands for.
Love and peace.
We stand for love and peace. I mean, even from the start of football in the early 70s, we were always regarded as peaceful, a club, in fact, instead of muting out violence, we were like the softies in football. And all these things that are happening now, they are not associated to Kaizer Chiefs. I think they can be attributed to external factors that are influencing this behavior. Yeah. So this is the factors that we need to now start looking at and say exactly what's gone wrong. But when you talk about being charged, it is good to learn that those that were arrested on the 2nd when we played Sundowns, they appeared in the Randburg Magistrate Court, and they were charged under Sazria Act of 2010, and they are just waiting for their fate. Anything can happen. They might be jailed, but remember, the biggest thing is that you're charged. You already have a criminal
record that sticks with you.
Remember Moses Mabhida. We lost in the semis against Free State Stars and Moses Mabhida Stadium, and we experienced one of the worst violence ever experienced. Yes, at Moses Mabhida Stadium. So, if you recall that fans were arrested and they were charged as well at the Durban Regional Court, and at the time I remember the one that was famous, there was the surname was Madiba.
Yes, I remember he even went on Facebook and he posted, he said he's at home if the police are looking for him.
So you can imagine, you can't forget the surname Madiba. They appeared in court with others. I think there were 12 of them, same charge of violence, but this Madiba guy was charged for assaulting the security guard, so he was caught on camera, and he was sentenced extensively, I think for 3 years in jail. Others got wholly suspended sentences, but they included supervision, home arrest, and stuff like that. So we want to remind the supporters that whatever they intend to continue doing at the stadium, they are watched and I think the law will be more ready now that cases are piling up, and there'll be a focus. But we will not stop to plead. And you mentioned supporters, branches, leadership. We will not stop as a club, as part of our responsibility, to work with all the clusters of football. And we reiterate that we're not here as Kaizer Chiefs to be the one who become the fall guys. We're here because of the love of football, and we want to protect football at large. So we are using this platform and the incident that affects us to pass on the message that wants to arrest this, so that it doesn't see the light of day.
Okay. Okay, you have said a lot. So do you think that because there have been fans that have been arrested and fans that have been jailed, do you think maybe one of the solutions that can help, and even the listeners can come in here, is to enforce the law?
Enforce the law, and when you enforce the law, you spread the message of the consequences, and you now go on to apply preventative measures by running workshops, going back to the supporters, talking to them directly, and sharing some of the stories that I've shared of criminal records, going to jail. I mean, remember, it's not only about what we witness or that is captured on TV or those that have been arrested. Any ill in a society has got dire consequences. It's got extended and ripple effect in the society. And that is not what we are about. We bring people to the stadium to entertain them. We're working on changing the fortunes of the club to make it better, to get back to winning ways for the sake of the club as well as the supporters, to bring smiles in their faces. So we endeavor at any time, in any instance or at any given time, we endeavor to make this club the best club that is in South Africa and abroad. So we want that to happen in a conducive environment.
And you have provisions to take the law into your own hands and identify these supporters and ban them as the club?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we pushed to that level, but we can't take the law into our own hands. We'll work with and collaborate with the law fraternity to enforce some of the banning orders in the stadium. Camera work, we're living in digital age. We're able to capture images, name and shame, and prohibit from entering the stadium and render people persona non grata as much as possible. So we don't want to get to that stage.
Yeah, that's the last resort.
Yeah, that's the last resort.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're looking at the police security cluster to do and carry out their responsibility, and we will do our responsibility as we've been doing to talk to the people, to come on this show, to go out in publicity, to release information and show people that hooliganism is not welcomed at the stadium.
Those who are just joining us, we are speaking to the Corporate Communications Officer at Kaizer Chiefs, Mr. Vina Maphosa, addressing the issue of spectator misbehavior. He has confirmed that they have been charged again. They will be appearing before the PSLDC on the 15th. And this will be a tough one now because you already have a case now. Are you expecting now behind closed doors ban now?
No, we actually I will not obviously divulge the approach to the case because that is obviously within the parameters of sub judice. But just for your sake and the listeners, we will look at reason with the authorities, with the PSL, the DC. We will put our case forward. Yeah, we will definitely put a case in point, and we will definitely, if we find ourselves against the whole, we will definitely put on some mitigating factors to avoid any kind of behind closed door. We have suffered that before. We know how difficult it is. Some have suffered that by playing under closed doors during COVID and all that, but we've suffered that as a punishment. and it is not what you want to see. Kaizer Chiefs that is currently on average, you've seen all the games that we've played, we've filled in the stadiums. The appetite is still there. People are looking forward to our games that are coming up in Polokwane on the 27th and the 30th already. There's already a vibe. So you don't want things like prohibiting people to enjoy. Remember, there are those that we thought about the other time when we spoke, that we commended.
Yes.
Those that behaved very well, that came to the stadium to cheer and enjoy, the festivity that was presented on the day. And when you have these isolated hooligans that spoil everything as rotten potatoes in the back, you then affect the rest of the people that have plans, to use football and the Kaizer Chiefs matches as their entertainment
And
point.
I'm going to go to the lines quickly, Lolose and Tabang. But do you worry, Vina Maphosa, that you get these fines and then you must pay, but eventually it might get to a punishment where you're docked points here and you have to forfeit a match, because the NSL handbook makes provisions for that?
Hey, when you talk about that, when we look at these charges coming thick and fast, and we think about consequences as ultimate, as what you've pointed. This is where now we come, stronger to say, this must be arrested, this must be stopped, this must be condemned, pour cold water and throw it out, with a bubble water. So we are at that position. We are anxious and we're looking at this and staring at danger. And but remember, this danger is not, the one thing that I'll repeat and emphasize is that the football fraternity must not look and watch as bystanders as what's happening to Kaizer Chiefs. This is a crisis that is faced by football at large and needs to be arrested, and we need to collaborate and use this opportunity to make sure that no one is affected by this.
Yeah, and even